Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, January 9th, 5:45 a.m. Pacific time. I'm Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators. Good morning. Looking forward to the trading day. I hope you are as well. Reminding you real quick to please do like, comment, and subscribe. Give us feedback on these videos. If you could, let us know what we can do to help you out in your trading into the future. And be sure to subscribe and tick that little alarm bell if you'd like to get notified when I am going live for the morning market analyses or other sporadic broadcasts. Well, with that, let's go ahead and jump into the markets. Let's start by taking a look at the S&P 500. So the ES futures, they are up this morning, and we have been in rally mode lately. It's getting a lot of people really excited that the bull market is back and so on and so forth. But personally, I'm not getting too fired up on bull market yet for a whole bunch of reasons. For starters, right now we are in this sell zone here from way back, and we had previously broken through it. This was a very, very, very significant zone that we did just shatter right through on this huge down move to this new zone here. But we have now bounced back up into it, and we're now testing that zone as resistance. So we have hopped over the 21 EMA, and that's great. But right now, on a daily basis, we are bumping our heads right into the top of the box. And like I said, we're right squarely in the middle of this sell zone. So I am not getting overly excited about the long prospects here. For me, in order to feel confident that we are ready for new longs, I need to see a pullback happen from here somewhere. I need to see a higher low get formed and then a takeout of this high in order to form a higher high. At that point, we will, in fact, have a series of at least two higher highs and higher lows. And that is the technical definition of an uptrend, of a trend reversal. So that is what I am kind of looking for as far as the bull play goes. Right now, the bears are certainly still in control. Navigator's still very, very red. And we are still on a bigger picture in a pattern of lower lows and lower highs. So this is a delicate time. We get some good news coming out in the world, and people get all excited by that. They might start pushing that buy button, and maybe we can hop up over this zone and maybe establish that higher low, maybe something like that, and establish the higher low here, and then come back up, whatever it may be. But in order to get really excited about the bullish direction, I've got to see that higher low form. So that is what I am keeping an eye on. Now, on a 60-minute basis, you can see here that we are actually squarely in a sell zone here. We're in this zone from back here on the, what is it, about the 20th or so, 19th, 20th. And we have been steadily climbing through various zones here, pausing for a little bit, pulling back, and then breaking on through the usual pattern. But right now, anyway, we are squarely in the middle of this 60-minute zone. So I am expecting to see either continued sideways action for a little while, possibly a pullback. That being said, it's always possible. Like I said, people get excited about something and start pushing that buy button. We'll have to see what happens once the market actually opens this morning. But those are the kind of the levels I'm watching. We are inside zones on both the 60 and the daily right now. So to me, this is a don't really do much of anything and wait for some kind of confirmation of a either on the 60-minute basis, either a break of this to the upside, which will then probably test as support and then go higher, or for this to just give up and then come back down out of this zone for a shorter term, like a day trade or a short-term swing trade, something like that. So right now on the 60, the bulls are in charge. We've got a green Navigator, although it is descending. So Navigator is making lower highs. Price is at the moment making higher highs. So we've got a little bit of a divergent situation going on here. So just be careful. It does look as if we could be preparing for some kind of a pullback, something like that, after this this big move up, which was then following this move up and this slight pullback. I feel that we are due for a pullback. So I'm watching for that. And then the question is, like I said, does that pullback form a higher high, or does it actually crash down and form, or excuse me, a higher low, I meant to say, or does it crash down and form a higher low down here, in which case we would have the low, the high, and then the first higher low there, or does it actually break this low here and continue the downtrend? So those are the different things that I'm keeping a very close eye on, and I will be looking for in the ES. Now let's move on to crude oil. See what's going on there. Crude oil has bounced off of the buy zone that was down here. It has hopped over the 21 EMA, up over the top of the box. So there is a good, strong rally going on in crude. However, right now there's a big, ugly congestion area right here where I've put this blue box, and crude is right in it. It has poked into it just today, and is now in that area, and I expect some congestion. I'm expecting it to do something along the lines of this, some sideways action for a little bit, something like that. On a shorter term time frame, you can actually see what is causing all this congestion area. It's all these different zones here. We've got a number of sell zones here overhead on the 60-minute basis, and so those add up to this congestion. So that's what crude has to contend with. Now, it is in an uptrend. It is climbing this trend line. It is making higher highs, higher lows. But like I said, it's coming up on these zones here. And that is what it's going to have to climb over in order to have any kind of a real bullish follow through. The trend certainly is up. We've got the 21 EMA certainly pointing up. We've got the Navigator is certainly green. But we do have some magenta exhaustion warnings happening. So we're getting some kind of, warning signals that the market needs to cool off a little bit. We are nearing overbought territory. We're only at about 34. So we're not super overbought yet, but we're up there. Definitely up near the range where you start being very concerned about a pullback. So watch out for that. I think it's perfectly reasonable that price gets up here to this zone and then pulls back. That would get us a little bit more overbought. And that would also, just fit with getting into the zones and testing the zones. And then the question is, does it break the zone or does it reject the zone? But if it hits that zone up at a level of 40 or so, 40 or above, something like that, then I would expect that the much higher probability is for a pullback. So that is what I will be keeping a look on in crude. So on a daily basis, like I said, we are above that 21 EMA. So that is a good sign. It is curving around, looking like it wants to start heading up. But, I wouldn't go starting to count my chickens quite yet, because there's nothing that says price can't come back and maybe test this trend line, something like that. Certainly test the 21 EMA would be very reasonable. And if this is a strong rally, if this is really a sort of a new bull market in the early stages of forming, then the 21 EMA might do a good job of holding as dynamic support, and we could see it curve and head sharper up from there, especially if the Navigator, which is trending up, if the Navigator can get up and cross this zero line, then we could really see something happen. We could see some serious bullish action come in. If we can take out these highs here, then we can continue the pattern of higher highs and higher lows, and just begin a bull march to the upside in crude on a daily basis. So keep an eye on those levels. Taking a quick look at gold, it is still just hopped up above this channel, and right now is in an uptrend. We've got higher highs and higher lows. We've also got the 21 EMA pointing upwards, but we are getting up there. We're at 33 on the Navigator. We're starting to get into near overbought areas. We've also got this sell zone overhead, so there is some resistance overhead. There are some things that suggest a pullback or some sideways action for a while is probably on hand. Price did just recently come up and create a new sell zone and then sell off from there, come back, couldn't even get to testing it, and then give up from there and come back down. But right now, it has not yet taken out that low. And there was some serious aggressive buying that happened at that level. So right now, between that low, this one here, it's looking like it doesn't really want to go much lower than here. So we could be seeing this as a point where it'll want to turn around and challenge the new highs again. But we do have right now the bears in control. We've got a red Navigator. It is trying to gain some strength. It is forming higher lows, but it's not like we have an extreme divergence of price making lower lows while Navigator's making higher lows. So there's not really a whole lot to infer from that alone. So right now, just keeping an eye on the zones. We do have a buy zone down here, and we have our sell zone up here. Right now, we're right in the middle. We're just in kind of no man's land here. So on a 60-minute basis anyway, not a whole heck of a lot of clarity. We are in a pattern of lower lows and lower highs at the moment, but again, we're kind of in the middle of that pattern. So which way is it going to go? I don't know. To me, this is a wait and see market right now. If you're an intraday trader, if you're a day trader, if you are a longer term trader, then you could see this as confirmation of a bottom, and that there is upside to be held, to be had rather. Um, I personally would still want to wait until maybe some of this it's not really quite overbought yet, but some of this extreme, if you will, maybe pulls back a little bit, gives us a bit of a dip or something like that. I wouldn't be wanting to chase it at this level. It just is a little bit too extended for me. I'd want to get some kind of a pullback, maybe to the 21, or at least to the top of the channel, which is right around the same area, basically. So we do have a new box. It looks like that came out, and if I'm seeing that correctly, because it's kind of under all the candles. Yes, there it is. It's kind of a small box, but it is there. So maybe we get a break below the box and come down and establish another higher low somewhere. If we had a higher low here, so maybe we can come down and make a higher low. It might be at the 21 EMA, or it might be somewhere down here. But I'd be wanting to watch for that pullback to a higher low, and before seeing about going long, if that was my market bias. All right, let's take a peek at natural gas, which is also still in a congestion area. It is just right in that blue box that I had drawn from past congestion. This whole sideways section here, we're still right in there. So there's not a whole lot going on right now. It's just sideways. So right this moment, natural gas not really going anywhere. But bigger picture, we are in a downtrend. We've got the downward sloping 21 EMA. We got lower lows and lower highs. It's just that right now we're going sideways. So no real clarity on a trade direction or anything like that at the moment. We are bearish on the Navigator. Not super oversold or anything. We're at about a 25, so around halfway or so between oversold and zero. Yeah, but the bears are technically in control. We do have one histogram bar of exhaustion kind of flashing there, but just the one. So right now, again, for me, this is a wait and see. Or if you've got profits from going short somewhere up in here, then this might be a good time to tighten up your stops. Certainly, at a minimum, put your stop here above the top of the box, or maybe take partial profits if you can, something like that. On an intraday 60-minute, we have been chopping around, as you can see here. I mean, this is that sideways action, and it is just very, very kind of all over the place. But each time we come up into this zone here, it just sells off. It gives up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that pattern continue. Especially we got the Navigator, which is heading down, heading down, heading down. It's getting down towards that zero line. So if it actually can break that zero line, then we could see some follow through to the downside. On the other hand, it's always possible that it comes down to the zero line and then gets some new buyers and comes in. So it depends on if this box here basically is going to act as support, which right this moment is going sideways. So it is acting as support. And maybe we see that. Maybe we get another period of consolidation where price just kind of chops around inside this area before marching higher. Crude. I mean, this is crude. Sorry, natural gas being so weather driven. I think that's gonna be a big part of the story. Is do we get more cold snaps? Do we suddenly have a massive surge in demand for natural gas? And if we do, then certainly we could see prices go higher again. But at the moment, anyhow, lower lows, lower highs, downtrending 21 EMA, bearish daily Navigator. All signs point to down. We just got to see what this little sideways consolidation wants to do. Oops. All right, let's take a look and wrap things up with Bitcoin, which is really just sort of going sideways at the moment as well. After kind of potentially forming a bottom here, we have a high, we have a higher low. We have not yet formed a higher high. So I can't honestly say that we are in an uptrend yet. And 21 EMA is almost perfectly flat. It's very sideways. It did turn up just a little bit right here at the end, but it's nothing that gets me overly bullishly excited. We've got some serious buying going on occasionally. We have these huge bars like this one here. So there is accumulation happening periodically, and I personally, my bias is to the long side for crypto at the moment for a whole variety of reasons. But on the technicals anyway, there's nothing that is super compelling. We did cross the zero line on the navigator, so that's potentially positive. We had a divergence come out of here with price making lower lows and lower highs, while the navigator was making higher lows. So we had a divergence. It did play out. We got a really nice bounce out of that. But like I said, we have formed a higher low, but we have not formed a higher high. So right this moment anyway, we don't really have a bull trend intact. We are just in the middle of still a continued downtrend. So what is price going to do? Is it going to surge higher and break this area here, and even really ideally that one there, in order to truly get a higher high and really signify a reversal in this downtrend? Or is it maybe going to go sideways, roll over, and maybe set new lows? Take out this area down here and head another leg down. It certainly could do that. Right this moment, anyway, on the 60, we are right near a sell zone, and every time we get to it, it sells off. So let me zoom out a little bit, see things a little bit better. So right now, anyhow, that zone is what I'm looking at as resistance. Navigator is also just weakening, 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 weakening. So we've got Navigator approaching the zero line here. It's interesting. On the daily, it just crossed the zero line to the upside. On the 60, it's getting close to the zero line to the downside. So mixed messages right now. If I'm looking to day trade Bitcoin, right this moment, I can't in good conscience think about going long. We have fallen below this rising trend line, and also we're at that sell zone right there. So I would be inclined to look for some kind of confirmation to the short side, maybe a break of the box, or certainly a takeout of this level here. And then you've got a short opportunity maybe to down here. On the long side, of course, if it can take out this high here, get over the zone, hold it, maybe test it as support and bounce upwards, then we've got something. Then definitely there's something to be had to the long side. So as always, it's going to just depend on price action. But on the daily, we are down, no question about it. We're still in a down market, still in a downtrend. And on the 60, a little bit indecisive, kind of needs to give us some kind of confirmation to which direction it wants to go. All right, well, that is it for Bitcoin. Let's take a look one more time at the S&P, see if anything exciting has happened in the last few minutes. And the answer is nope, not really. We are still continuing just our sideways move here on the 60 and in that sell zone. So wait for the opening bell and give it some time to settle out and see what it wants to do and see which direction the market wants to give us today. Or, is this a sideways day? Does it just kind of chop around and go nowhere and give us just kind of a messy trading day? We'll have to wait and see. So opening bell in 27 minutes. So I'm going to get ready for the day ahead. I hope you are as well. And I hope you're going to have a great day of trading and a great day in general. So again, I'm Jonathan van Clute for Stock Navigators, reminding you please to like, comment, and subscribe to these videos for notifications in the future. And I will look forward to doing this again on Friday. Our schedule currently is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:45 a.m. So that is it for me. Until next time, good trading. Take care. Bye-bye.